Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Alyssa Faden channel. So we have reviewed this piece earlier on. This is the Egyptian Queen by Frazetta. Originally is a piece of artwork, and it's 3D modeled here as a little miniature, a collectible by Lucid Eye publications. We've had this on the channel before because from this picture here you can see this is the Lucid Eye advertising. This is what's on their website right now. You can see that it's quite a beautiful piece. She is voluptuous, captures everything about the original Frazetta piece, has some wonderful details, and kind of is beckoning to have a little paint put to her. It's a type of miniature that I would buy. Now that said, it is £14, 14 British pounds, and that currently is literally just about 70 cents shy of 20 US dollars. It's not a cheap miniature, but then you wouldn't expect it to be. Now I'm going to jump to the point here pretty quickly because my first video really sort of covered this. I got 2 of these last year from a friend. It's kind of paint one and keep one type of deal. And it quickly came to light that she does not fit. There's this massive gap. She doesn't sit on the stairs. She doesn't sit up against the pillar itself. Houston, we have a problem. Now, the white that you see on this, I actually did a little bit of trying to fill in the gap. But I want to point out that Lucid Eye, while they seem like very nice chaps, did say several times to me on Facebook and in email, you know, we're going to rework this, we're going to rework the mold, we're going to send you some new ones, and in the meantime, you can fill in the gap yourself, you know, using a little bit of modeling putty. Now, there's just one problem to that, and I'm just going to reach over here, and I'm going to pull out a random file from my collection. You know what, let's just use this. The gap is so big on this that a file would literally fit in and thread through. And this is a triangular file that I pulled out. This goes through the gap. This is not what I would call a gap that you would put putty in. Okay, I mean, come on, let's be fair, guys. This is just not. Now, but I covered all of that in a previous video, and I do want to say here that the problem is not the gap. I mean, yeah, okay, it is. But if you look closely and you compare to the artwork on their site, she's almost flat. She's got a lot of that voluptuous detailing just removed. It's like she's compressed, and I think that's part of the problem here. So even if you did manage to fill that gap, and even if you were willing and were able to resculpt the gap because it's quite thick, she in and of herself feels like her face has been squished. You know, her body has been compressed. You might get away with that, but like her arms almost look like they're half missing. There's a lot of work to do on this. This is not just a case of fill the gap with a little bit of modeling putty, right? But let's be fair. Lucid Eye sent me a replacement. Okay. So let's put last year's behind us. And then we're going to take a look at the replacement that they sent. Now, let's just put a couple of pieces down here. These are the pillars. They sent me 2, and I really do appreciate that, Lucid. Thank you. And we covered this in the last video as well, so I won't go too deep into this, but this is the replacement they sent. And right away, I saw, hold on a minute, she looks like she's also squished. And if we compare this to the original, it's like, well, I don't think that there's any improvement. But okay, let's be fair. Let's plop her on the step, and oh, no, wait a minute, she has exactly the same problem. I mean, look at that gap. Look at that gap. That is magnificent. We would have to really bend her into place. That's crazy. Now, I will say I'm using this one that I pre-glued, this pillar, because the pillar is centered. But it is no different than the replacement pillars they sent, because the replacement pillars haven't been reworked at all, okay? But just for the sake of this, if we kind of temporarily put that here, and then we get our darling queen. A bit fiddly without it being glued, but it's just not going to work. I think you can see that. It's just, she just isn't going to sit. This is some serious bending of her, filling gaps. It's the same problem. So the replacement that they sent, exactly the same issue. So I've got 4 of these queens now. I'm just going to put them to one side. I'm determined to do something with them actually at some point, but not today. Not today. Let's get rid of all of them. Why are we doing this video? Why are we doing part 2? Because they sent a 3rd replacement. And we are going to take a look at this. Now, I'm not going to read their email word for word, but it went something along the lines of thus. We have redone the mold. We have redone the casting. This should be a lot better. So let's find out. First and foremost, by the way, this is kind of like a little niggle thing, but I do want to like review this fairly. On the left, we have the original casting. On the right, the recasting. See if we can get this to focus properly. In fact, maybe we just do something like that. The left, I don't know if you can see that, it's not quite as deep with the details. And if you look at the original model on their site, like their master, it's a lot deeper. It's quite nice. It stands out. And one thing I have noticed is their replacement seems, at least to me, like the details are there a little bit more. So I like this base. This is good. The queen. Now, I will admit, I looked at this queen and I thought, I'm not sure she's really any different. So let's go back to what they sent previously. And, I mean, to me, the one on the right's a new one. I mean, maybe her tummy is a little more rounded. Maybe the leg isn't quite as flattened. That might be just like placebo effect, what I want to see on it. But like, even the head seems like it's not quite as flattened. So let's give it a benefit of doubt. And let's temporarily put this together. Now, I will say this. I don't think that they've actually changed this particular model like at all. I'm going to put this on the edge here. I haven't glued this. I didn't want to kind of get into a situation where someone was saying that I glued it badly or something. I want everyone to see literally as it comes out of the box. Here's the new queen. Now, first and foremost, she's sitting on the bottom step much nicer. Like the dress hasn't been vertically flattened out. But, and here's the but, let's put that to one side. She definitely does sit on the step much closer, right? I mean, that is an acceptable gap. I would fill that with a little bit of modeling clay, no problem. She doesn't sit flat on the ground because her dress actually pokes lower than the pillar. So that's a little bit of filing work that would need to happen there. But that's okay. I would expect to do, you know, something like that. With some miniature lines anyway. So that's okay. That's okay. She's so, you know, face value looks good, huh? But here's the problem. And I'm going to go back to the one that's been glued, but again, they're the same pillar. Here's the problem here. It's better. I can't force a file through that, but I am disappointed that she's not up against the pillar. Now, the pillar is centrally aligned. I don't want to push the pillar to the edge. I do think we can make this work. I do think I'm going to have to file underneath here and get it to cinch up. I think this here might be holding her off the base a little bit. Try and get her right up against the steps, and I think that will bring her up against the pillar. And the gap on that side is not awesome. And can you see, like, on this step here, like, she's right up against the step, but she's nowhere near up against the pillar. That's a problem. I mean, I feel like I need to sort of tie something around it, some wire or something, you know, get the body protected, and then literally ratchet around and pull it into the pillar there. Again, I don't want to move the pillar towards her. It would throw it off center. So I don't want to do that. So overall, it is definitely better. She needs more work than I would like to put into a miniature. I don't know if it's worth $20, but I am gonna now put this one together, get her cleaned up. I think she is going to be worth painting. So what do you guys think? Do you think that this is worth £14, $20 US? Do you think that there is too many gaps on this, or do you think it's within the degree of variance or what we should be willing to accept? What do you think? Give me your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this type of comment, or if you like this type of content, please like the video and consider subscribing. Thank you, everyone. I will see you all on the flip side.